The last type of word problems that we're going to look at are proportion problems. So, what are we going to do to solve proportion problems? I find it's helpful to start out by just writing out the proportion in words. And then you can just choose a variable and solve. So what does that look like? Well, how much lemon juice must be added to 2 liters of water to make a lemonade solution that contains 20% lemon juice? So as soon as a certain percentage of something, that makes it a proportion question. What is a proportion? Well, that's why we write it out. The proportion will equal, because it makes sense that if you want 20% lemon juice, it's the amount of lemon juice over the total liquid that you have. Now, the number one mistake that students make in this question is that they think that since there's 2 liters of liquid, what's 20% of 2 liters? That's 400 mils. If I just add 400 mils, I'm going to be fine. But it doesn't work out that way. Because if we write out the proportion in words, what do we want? We want the proportion to be 20%. So 20%, you could write it as a fraction, or you could write it as a decimal. That's 20 out of 100. What don't we know? We don't know how much lemon juice to add. So that's where we choose our variable. It's going to be x. What is the total amount of liquid? It's not going to be 2 liters. It's going to be the 2 liters plus however much, every time you add some lemon, you have more liters now, right? Because if I add 1 liter of lemon juice, that's not going to give me 50% lemon. Because once I add that 1, now what's the total? There's 3 liters in total. That'd only be 33% lemon juice. So we need to take the total liquid will be the water plus the lemon juice. And maybe you even want to add that in words under here. That your total liquid, in order to find your proportion, is going to be your water plus your lemon juice. If I reduce this fraction, that'll be 1 over 5. X over 2 plus x. Proportion questions often solve nicely with cross multiplying. You can get a common denominator as well, but if I do cross multiply here, I'm going to get 2 plus x equals 5x. Subtract x on both sides. Divide by 4. And you're going to have to add 0.5 liters of lemon juice to get 20%. Okay? Again, the most common mistake is people do 20% of 2 liters, then you would get 0.4. And that is not the right answer. So you can't just directly go and say, since I know how many liters I have, I want 20%. I can't just do 20% of 2 liters, because if I add 0.4, I'd have 2.4 liters of water, and that wouldn't make a 20% solution. So try question number 7.